Alright, let's dive into something wild. Something that's gonna grab you by the collar and not let go. Welcome to the asterisk Superhuman rebellion begins. Will the world survive? Asterisk, you're sitting there, scrolling through YouTube, maybe sipping some coffee or sneaking a late night snack, and you clicked on this video because deep down, you're curious. What happens when the world we know, our cities, our rules, our normal, starts to crack under the weight of something unstoppable? What happens when people like you and me are forced to pick a side in a war we didn't start? In the next few minutes, I'm gonna pull you into a story that's gonna mess with your head, make your heart race, and leave you questioning everything. This isn't just some sci-fi flick, it's a mystery wrapped in chaos, and by the end of this intro, you're gonna be dying to know, can humanity survive when the rebellion kicks off? Stick with me, because I'm talking directly to asterisk you asterisk. Yeah, you, the one watching right now. And I promise, if you stay till the end, you're gonna get the answers you came here for. Let's set the stage for a battle that's about to change everything. Picture this, it's 2035, and the world's buzzing with tension, like a storm cloud ready to burst. Cities gleam with neon and tech, but there's a shadow creeping in. Something nobody saw coming. You're probably wondering, what's this rebellion all about? Well, I'm not gonna spoil it just yet, but let's just say it starts with a spark nobody expected. People are whispering about asterisk them asterisk, the ones who aren't quite human anymore. Not robots, not aliens, but something else entirely. They walk among us, blending in, hiding powers that could flip the world upside down. And here's where it gets real. You're not just watching this story, you're gonna feel like you're asterisk in asterisk it. I know you felt that itch before, that moment when you wonder if you'd stand up or run when everything goes to hell. That's what this story's gonna do. It's gonna make you question what asterisk you'd asterisk do if you were caught in the crossfire. I'm not here to lecture or bore you with some overdone plot. I'm here to take you on a ride, to make you feel the pulse of a world teetering on the edge. You're not just a viewer, you're my partner in this, and I need you to stick with me, because this story's got layers, and every twist is gonna hit you like a freight train. Let's talk about why you're here. You clicked this video because you love a good mystery, right? You're into those trending YouTube searches, superhuman powers, rebellion, survival, epic battles, maybe even a little conspiracy thrown in. Well, guess what? This story's got all of that, but it's not just gonna throw explosions and CGI at you. It's gonna dig into your head, play with your emotions, and make you care about what's coming next. I'm betting you're the kind of person who loves getting lost in a story that feels alive, that feels like it could happen tomorrow. That's why I'm talking to you like we're sitting across from each other. Maybe at a diner with some fries between us, swapping stories about what's coming for the world. You're not just another click on my channel. You're someone who gets it. Someone who knows there's more to a story than flashy edits. And I'm gonna reward you for that. By the end of this video, I'm gonna crack open the big question. What asterisk is asterisk the rebellion? And why does it feel like the whole world's holding its breath? But to get there, you're gonna stay with me, because I'm building this story piece by piece, and every second's gonna pull you deeper. Now, let's set the vibe. The world I'm talking about isn't some far-off fantasy. It's close, it's gritty, it's real. Think of your city, your street, but dialed up to 11. Drones hum overhead, screens blast ads for tech you can't afford. And there's this uneasy buzz, like everyone's waiting for something to break. That's where our story kicks off, in a place that feels familiar but wrong. Like a song you know, but the lyrics are off. And in this world, there's a conflict brewing that's bigger than any one person. It's not just about good guys versus bad guys. It's about what happens when power gets out of control, when ordinary people get caught in a fight they didn't choose. You're gonna meet a few key players soon, but I'm not spilling their names or faces just yet. Let's just say there's someone who's been hiding what they can do, someone who's tired of lying low, and someone else who's got a plan to change the game forever. These aren't your typical heroes or villains. They're messy, they're human, and they're about to drag you into their world, whether you're ready or not. You're gonna feel their fear, their rage, their hope. It's gonna hit you right in the chest. Here's the thing. I know you've got a million other videos calling your name right now. True crime, gaming, maybe some viral TikTok compilation. But I'm asking you to stay here, because this story's different. It's not just about what happens, it's about why it matters. You ever wonder what you'd do if you had power nobody else could touch? Or what you'd risk to protect the people you love? That's what this rebellion's about, and it's why I'm so fired up to share it with you. I'm not just some faceless voice behind a mic. I'm someone who's been dreaming up this story for months, sketching out characters who feel like friends, building a world that's as real to me as the one outside your window. And I want you to feel that too. I want you to lean in, to forget the notifications pinging on your phone, and to let this story take over. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into a fight that's gonna test what it means to be human. And I'm right here with you, guiding you through every step, making sure you don't miss a single clue. Let's talk things for a second, because this story's got some meat on its bones. It's about power, who gets it, who abuses it, who fights for it. It's about rebellion, not just the kind with fists and fire, but the kind that starts in your gut when you know something's wrong. It's about survival, about clawing your way through a world that's trying to break you. And yeah, it's about superhumans, but not the capes and tights kind. These are people who scare the hell out of the ones in charge, because they can't be controlled. You're gonna see all of this through the eyes of folks who are just trying to figure out their place in the chaos. And I'm betting you'll see a bit of yourself in them. Maybe you felt like an outsider before, or like you're hiding something nobody else would get. That's what's gonna hook you. It's not just about the big shiny conflict. It's about the quiet moments that make you feel alive. And I'm gonna keep those moments front and center. So you're not just watching, you're feeling every beat. Now, I know you're itching for details, so let me tease you a little. There's a moment coming in this story, something nobody saw coming, not even the people pulling the strings. It's the kind of thing that makes you gasp, that makes you hit pause and stare at the screen like, did that just happen? But I'm not gonna ruin it here. What I will tell you is that the rebellion starts small, a whisper, a choice, a single act that ripples out until nobody can ignore it. You're gonna meet someone who's been keeping a secret so big it could tear their life apart. You're gonna follow someone else who's got blood on their hands and a fire in their heart. And there's another figure, someone watching from the shadows, pulling strings nobody else can see. These aren't just characters. They're gonna feel like people you know, people you root for, people you hate, people you can't stop thinking about. And by the time this intro's done, you're gonna be so tangled up in their story, you won't be able to click away. That's my promise to you. Here's where I get real with you. Making this video wasn't just about hitting record and spitting out a script. It's about pouring everything I've got into a story that's worth your time. You're not just a number on my analytics. You're the reason I'm here, the reason I'm telling this tale. I know life's messy right now. Maybe you're stressed about work, school, or just keeping up with everything. But for the next few minutes, I'm inviting you to escape with me, to dive into a world where the stakes are high and the answers aren't easy. I'm not gonna waste your time with fluff. This story's got heart, it's got guts, and it's got a mystery that's gonna keep you glued to the screen. You're gonna walk away from this video feeling something, whether it's a chill down your spine or a spark of inspiration. And I'm not letting you go until I deliver on that. So, lean in, turn up the volume, and let's get lost together. I'm right, we're almost at the edge, and I can feel you getting antsy. You want to know what's coming, don't you? You want to know why the world's trembling, why the word superhuman is on everyone's lips, why the rebellion's about to explode. Well, I'm gonna give you just enough to keep you hooked. Picture a city at night, rain slicking the streets, a crowd gathering in the dark. There's a sound, low, rumbling, like the earth itself is angry. And in the middle of it all, someone steps forward, someone who's done hiding. They raise their hand, and the air changes, like reality itself is bending. The crowd gasps, the drones overhead flicker, and for one heartbeat, the world holds its breath. What happens next? Who's standing against them? And why does it feel like everything, every rule, every hope, every fear is about to come crashing down? You're gonna find out, but only if you stick with me. The rebellion's just beginning, and the answers are closer than you think, but they're gonna cost something. What's it gonna be, my friend? You ready to dive in, or are you gonna let this mystery pass you by? So here we are, rain-soaked streets shimmering under flickering neon. The air crackling with something nobody can name yet, and you're right there with me, standing on the edge of a moment that's about to rip the world apart. That figure in the crowd, the one who raised their hand and made reality stutter, they're gone now, vanished into the chaos as screams and sirens swallowed the night. But the echo of what they did lingers, like a song you can't shake. You're probably wondering who they are, what they want, and why the hell everyone's so scared. I get it. You came here for answers, and I'm not gonna leave you hanging, but we gotta dig deeper first, peel back the layers of this world to understand how we got to this breaking point. This isn't just about one person or one night. It's about a society that's been fraying for years, about secrets buried so deep, they're starting to claw their way out. Stick with me, because I'm talking to you, the one glued to this video, hungry for the truth behind the asterisk, Superhuman Rebellion asterisk. We're gonna unravel the mystery together, piece by piece, and I promise, every step's gonna pull you in tighter, make you feel like you're walking these streets yourself, dodging shadows and chasing whispers. Let's rewind a bit, not too far, just enough to get a sense of how this all started bubbling up. It's 2035, like I said, but the world didn't just wake up one day and decide to lose its mind. Things had been off for a while. Think back to the early 2020s, when tech started outpacing what most folks could wrap their heads around. Biotech, neural implants, gene tweaks that promised to make you sharper, stronger, maybe even immortal if you had the cash. At first, it was just the elite messing with that stuff. CEOs, politicians, the kind of people who never wait in line. But then it spread, trickled down to the rest of us, or at least to those who could scrape together the credits. Problem is, nobody really knew what they were signing up for. You'd hear stories, some guy in Chicago who could lift a car after a procedure, a woman in Miami who started hearing thoughts after her implant went haywire. Urban legends, right? Except they weren't. The government called it augmentation, slapped some regulations on it, but you know how that goes. Rules don't stick when power's on the table. By the time most people realized what was happening, there were folks out there who weren't just enhanced, they were something else entirely. Superhuman maybe, but that word's got a weight to it. A mix of awe and dread that makes your skin crawl. And that's where our story lives, in the gap between what we thought we could control and what's starting to control us. Now let's zoom in on the city where it all kicks off. Not some generic metropolis, but a place that feels alive, pulsing with grit and hope and fear. Call it New Haven for now, a sprawling beast of glass and steel on the East Coast, where the rich live in sky towers and the rest of us hustle in the shadows below. New Haven's the kind of place where you can feel the tension in the air, like static before a storm. Drones patrol the streets, cameras on every corner, and there's this constant hum of data flowing through the city's veins. Ads, news, propaganda, all blending into noise. But lately, there's a new kind of whisper cutting through. Graffiti's been popping up, cryptic stuff like, "They walk among us," or "Unleash the spark." Nobody knows who's behind it, but it's got people rattled, especially the suits up top. See, New Haven's got a secret, one it's been keeping for years, and it's not just about a few freaky experiments gone wrong. There's a network, a shatter system, and it's tied to the augments, the ones who can do things nobody should be able to do. Some say they're organizing, others say they're just waiting, but either way, the city's a powder keg, and that night in the rain, that was the match getting struck. Let's meet a few folks caught up in this mess. Not their full stories yet, just enough to get you curious, because I know you're leaning in, wondering who's going to carry this tale. First, there's someone we'll call the runner, a young woman who's spent her life dodging trouble in New Haven's underbelly. She's not your typical hero. Think more scrappy survivor than caped crusader. She's got this knack for slipping through cracks, whether it's a locked door or a corporate firewall, but what nobody knows is she's carrying a secret that could burn the city down. Not an augment, not exactly, but let's just say her past is tangled up with the kind of experiments that don't make the evening news. She's been laying low, hustling odd jobs, but that night in the rain, she was there, close enough to see the figure raise their hand, close enough to feel the world shift. Now she's running again, not just from the law, but from something, or someone, chasing her through the neon maze. You're gonna want to keep an eye on her, because every choice she makes is pulling her closer to the heart of the rebellion, whether she wants it or not. She's scared angry, but there's a fire in her that's starting to flicker, and you're gonna feel it too. That spark of defiance that makes you root for her, even when she's out of moves. Then there's the Watcher, someone who's got a very different view of New Haven. Picture a guy who's seen too much, knows too much, and carries it like a weight he can't shake. He's not on the streets, he's up high, maybe in one of those sky towers, but not because he's rich. He's there because he's useful, because he's got skills that make the powerful nervous. He's a data wrangler, a hacker who can peel back the city's digital skin and see the bones underneath, every transaction, every secret, every lie. Problem is, he's found something he wasn't supposed to. Something about the augments that goes way beyond what the public's been fed. He's not an augment himself, but he's got his own scars, ones that don't show on the outside. That night in the rain, he was watching, not from the crowd, but through a dozen feeds, piecing together what it meant. Now he's got a choice: stay safe and keep quiet, or risk everything to dig deeper. You're gonna feel his paranoia, his doubt, because he's not sure who to trust, not even himself. But there's a part of him that's hungry for the truth, and that's what's gonna pull him, and you, into the storm. And let's not forget the catalyst, the one who's harder to pin down. Nobody knows much about them, not their face, not their name, just the whispers that follow them like smoke. Some say they're an augment gone rogue, others think there's something else entirely. Maybe a ghost from the city's past. What we do know is they're tied to that moment in the rain, to the act that sent shockwaves through New Haven. The catalyst isn't just a person, they're a question mark, a shadow that moves through the story, leaving clues and chaos in their wake. They've got a plan, or at least it seems that way. But whether they're a savior or a destroyer, nobody's sure yet. You're gonna catch glimpses of them through other people's eyes. Maybe the runners, maybe the watchers, and each time, it's gonna raise more questions than answers. Are they leading the rebellion, or are they just lighting the fuse? You're gonna want to know. I can feel it, because there's something about the catalyst that hits you right in the gut. That mix of fear and fascination that keeps you up at night. Now, let's stir the pot with a subplot or two, because this isn't a straight line. It's a web, and every thread's pulling you deeper. There's a group in New Haven, small but growing, who call themselves the Unseen. They're not augments, not exactly, but they're people who've been chewed up and spit out by the system. Factory workers, coders, kids who grew up in the city's cracks. They've been meeting in secret, passing around flyers with those same cryptic phrases from the graffiti, talking about a world where the powerful don't get to call all the shots. The unseen aren't soldiers. They're just folks who've had enough, but there's a fire in them that's starting to spread. The runners crossed paths with them before, maybe even done a job or two, but she's not sure if they're allies or trouble. Meanwhile, the Watcher's picking up chatter about them, bits of code that don't add up, And he's starting to wonder if they're connected to the bigger picture. Are they unseen part of the rebellion, or are they being played by someone else? That's another mystery for you to chew on, because nothing in this story is what it seems. Here's another layer. New Haven's not just a city, it's a battleground for ideas. On one side, you've got the corporations, the ones who bankroll the augment programs, who sell the dream of a better you while keeping their hands clean. They're scared now, because the augments they created aren't playing by the rules anymore. On the other side, there's a growing movement online, trending across platforms like wildfire. Hashtag unleash the future. Hashtag no more cages. It's messy, chaotic, a mix of hope and rage that's got people talking, arguing, sometimes fighting in the streets. The Watch has been tracking these hashtags, seeing how they're shifting, how they're pulling people in. Even the runners noticed it, overhearing kids in dive bars quoting lines from viral videos about freedom and power. But here's the kicker. Nobody knows who's steering this movement. Is it the catalyst, the unseen, or something bigger? Something that's been hiding in plain sight. You're feeling it now, aren't you? That itch to know more, to see how it all connects. That's why you're still here, still watching, because this story's sinking its hooks into you. Let's keep the tension cranking, because we're not slowing down. That night in the rain wasn't a one-off, it was a signal, and now things are moving fast. Reports are trickling in, not just from New Haven, but from other cities too. Glitches in the grid, faces caught on cameras that shouldn't be there, whispers of augments stepping out of the shadows. The runners hearing rumors on the street, stories of people disappearing, others showing up with scars they can't explain. The Watcher's screens are lighting up with data spikes, patterns that point to something big, something coordinated. And the catalyst, they're out there, leaving breadcrumbs. A hacked billboard here, a cryptic broadcast there. It's like they're daring the world to catch up, but nobody knows what they're building toward. You're right there with me, aren't you? Feeling the pulse of this city, the weight of what's coming. You're wondering if the rebellion's a fight for freedom or a plunge into chaos. And I'm not gonna lie, it could be both. Every choice, every secret, every spark is pushing New Haven closer to the edge. And you're not just watching. You're invested, because you know the truth's out there, waiting. Here's where it gets heavier. The runner's not just dodging trouble. She's starting to see things, flashes in her head that don't make sense, like memories that aren't hers. She's scared to dig into it, but she's got no choice, because whatever's chasing her knows more than she does. The Watcher's hitting walls too. His searches are turning up dead ends. And someone's watching him now, hacking his feeds, leaving warnings he can't ignore. And the catalyst's shadow keeps growing. Every move they make ripples out, pulling others in, from street kids to corporate insiders. There's a moment coming, one that's gonna change everything, but we're not there yet. Picture this instead, a rooftop in New Haven, dawn breaking over the skyline, the runner catching her breath as she looks out at a city that's waking up to war. She hears something, a hum, low and strange, like the air itself is singing. Far below, the Watcher stares at his screens, watching a single line of code rewrite itself. The spark is lit, and somewhere, out in the haze, the catalyst smiles, because they know what's next. What is it? Who's pulling the strings? You're dying to know, and I'm right here with you, ready to take you deeper. But you've got to stay with me, because the rebellion's about to explode, and we're nowhere near the end. Alright, we're back in New Haven, the city's pulse hammering like a drum you can feel in your bones, and you're right here with me, caught in the thick of a story that's spiraling towards something massive. That rooftop moment with the runner, the dawn painting the skyline while a strange hum filled the air. It wasn't just a pause. It was the world taking a breath before everything kicked into overdrive. The Watcher's staring at that line of code. The spark is lit, his heart pounding, because he knows it's not just a message, it's a countdown. Somewhere out there, the catalyst is moving, their shadows stretching longer, pulling strings nobody can see yet. You're probably leaning forward, itching to know what's coming. And I'm not gonna let you down, because this is where the asterisk, Superhuman Rebellion asterisk, stops whispering and starts screaming. I'm talking to you, the one glued to this screen, hungry for the next piece of the puzzle. Things are about to get wild. An unexpected twist is gonna flip this story on its head. The stakes are climbing, and every second's gonna drag you deeper into a fight that's tearing New Haven apart. Stick with me, because I'm promising you answers, but they're coming with a cost, and you're not gonna want to miss a single beat of this chaos. Let's dive into the fire. The hum the runner heard wasn't just in her head. It's spreading, a low vibration rattling through New Haven streets, flickering lights, glitching drones, making people clutch their heads like they're hearing something they shouldn't. At first, it's chaos without a shape, crowds panicking, newsfeeds spitting static, hashtag what is the hum blowing up online, but the watcher's piecing it together, his fingers flying across keyboards as he chases the signal. It's not random. It's a frequency, something deliberate, and it's waking things up, not just machines, people. Augments, the ones who've been hiding, blending in. They're starting to feel it, like a switch flipping in their blood. Across the city, stories are pouring in. A taxi driver who accidentally shattered his windshield with a touch. A nurse who swears she saw a patient's wounds heal in seconds. The unseen, that ragtag group from the shadows. They're out in force now. Not just whispering but shouting, spray painting warnings on walls. They're rising. The runner's caught in the middle, dodging checkpoints as the city locks down, her own head buzzing with flashes that aren't hers. Images of labs, needles, faces she doesn't know. She's terrified. But there's no running from this. Not when every step pulls her closer to the truth about what she's carrying inside. You're feeling it too, aren't you? That mix of dread and thrill, knowing rebellion's not just coming. It's here, and nobody's ready for what's next. Here's where it gets crazier. The Watcher, holed up in his tower, thinks he's cracked it. The hum's tied to a network. Not just tech, but something older, buried in the city's bones. He's digging through archives, pulling up files nobody's touched in decades, and he finds something that makes his blood run cold. New Haven wasn't just built on trade or grit. It was a testing ground, a secret project from way back, before augments were even a word. The corporations, the ones who've been playing God with biotech, they didn't start this. They inherited it, and whatever they unleash is waking up now. He's about to send a warning, maybe to the unseen, maybe to the world. When his screens go black, and a voice, not human, not machine, something asterisk else asterisk, says his name. Yeah, you heard that right. A voice, clear as day, calling him out, like it's been watching him this whole time. He's shaking, because this isn't just a hack, it's personal. And it knows things he's never told anyone. Things about his past, his scars, the reasons he's up in that tower instead of down in the streets. You're wondering what it is, I know, and so's he. But before he can trace it, the hum spikes and half the city's power grid fries, plunging New Haven into a flickering dark. That's when the twist hits, and trust me, you didn't see this coming. The catalyst, remember them, the shadow pulling strings. They're not just one person. They never were. The figure in the rain, the one who bent reality and vanished, wasn't the whole story. It was a decoy, a spark to light the fire. The real catalyst is a asterisk group asterisk, a collective of augments who've been hiding in plain sight, linked by something nobody understands yet, not even them. They're not just powerful, they're connected like a hive mind, but fractured. Each one carrying a piece of a plan they don't fully grasp. The hum, it's their signal, their call, but it's not just waking up augments, it's tearing them apart. Some are stepping into the light, ready to fight, while others are losing control. Their powers spiking in ways that leave blood on the pavement. The runner sees it firsthand, cornered in an alley as a kid, no older than 16, screams, and sends cracks, spider webbing through the street. his eyes glowing with something that's not human anymore. She wants to help, but she's barely holding it together herself. Those flashes in her head getting louder, showing her a face now, a woman, cold and calm, who feels like a ghost from her past. You're hooked, aren't you? Because this isn't just about superhumans. It's about a city, a world, caught in a war nobody signed up for. And the Catalyst's plan is bigger than anyone guessed. But it's slipping, and that's what's got everyone scared. Let's pull on those subplots because they're weaving tighter now. The unseen are splitting. Some want to join the augments, seeing them as the future, while others are digging in, arming themselves against a threat they can't name. They're not just a gang anymore. They're a movement, trending online with hashtag no more cages. Their flyers showing up in cities beyond New Haven. But there's a traitor in their ranks, someone feeding info to the corporations, and it's starting to show. Raids hitting their hideouts, members vanishing. The runner's tangled up with them now, not by choice, but because they're the only ones who might know why her head's a mess. She's starting to trust one of them, a quiet guy who talks about freedom like it's a prayer. But there's something off about him, something he's not saying. Meanwhile, the Watcher's not just fighting his own demons, he's being hunted. That voice on his screens wasn't a one-time thing. It's back, leaving clues, taunting him to keep digging. He's found a name now, buried in the data. Project Ember, the root of it all, a program that wasn't supposed to exist. But every time he gets close, someone, shuts him down. And he's starting to wonder if he's not just chasing the truth but being led to it. You're feeling the weight of it, right? The way every thread's pulling toward a breaking point, but nobody knows what's on the other side. The stakes are sky high now, and it's not just New Haven anymore. The hum's gone global. Tokyo, Lagos, Sao Paulo, cities reporting the same glitches, the same whispers of augments stepping out. Social media's a battlefield, with hashtag Unleash the Future trending alongside hashtag Stop the Threat, people picking sides without knowing what they're fighting for. The corporations are scrambling, pushing curfews, rolling out drones that don't just watch but hunt. But they're scared too. You can see it in their slick PR, the way they're blaming rogue elements while their stocks tank. The runner's running out of places to hide, her flashes turning into visions now, showing her that woman again, speaking words she can't hear but feel, like a warning or a call. The Watcher's one step from cracking Project Ember wide open, but he's got a choice: go public and risk everything, or keep it quiet and maybe save himself. And the Catalyst, they're fracturing, their unity breaking as the hum pushes some to fight and others to flee. There's a moment coming, a collision nobody can stop, and it's gonna hit like a tidal wave. Picture this: the city's half dark, fires burning in the distance, the hum so loud it's rattling your teeth. The runner's on a bridge, staring down at the water. The vision screaming now, a lab, a scream, a promise she never made. She turns, and there's someone behind her. Not the kid from the alley, but someone older, someone who knows her name. The Watcher's in his tower, screens flickering back to life, showing him a map, not of New Haven, but of something bigger. Lines connecting cities, a network that shouldn't exist. And somewhere, the Catalyst, or what's left of them, gathers, not in person, but in a space that's not quite real. Their voices blending into one. It's time. Time for what? Freedom. Ruin. You're right there with me. Heart racing. Because the rebellion's not just a fight. It's a reckoning. And the twist about the Catalyst is just the start. What's Project Ember? Who's the woman in the runner's head? And why does it feel like the hum's not just a signal, but a voice calling something or someone home? You're dying to know, and I'm not letting you go yet, because we're racing toward the edge, and the next step's gonna change everything. Stay with me, because this is where it gets real. Here we are, New Haven burning under a sky that feels too heavy, the hum shaking the city like a heartbeat you can't ignore. And you're still with me, right at the edge of everything. The runner's on that bridge, facing someone who knows her name, Her past, her secrets, someone who's about to change it all. The Watcher's screens are alive, showing a map of connections that stretch beyond New Haven, beyond reason, and he's seconds from a truth that could break him. The catalyst, fractured and faltering, is gathering in that strange, unreal space. Their voices trembling with purpose. It's time. You're feeling it, aren't you? The pull of the asterisk, superhuman rebellion asterisk, the weight of a world tipping over. And I'm talking straight to you, the one who's stuck with this story through every twist, every shadow. We're diving into the climax now, where the answers you've been chasing finally come into focus, where the conflicts collide, and where one last twist is gonna leave you stunned. This isn't just a story, it's a reckoning, and I'm promising you a resolution that's gonna hit hard, tie up the loose ends, and leave you thinking long after the screen goes dark. Let's finish this together, because you're not just watching, you're part of it. I'm not letting you go until we see it through. The bridge is shaking now, not just from the hum, but from something deeper, like the city itself is waking up. The runner's staring at the figure, a woman, older with eyes that cut through her like glass. It's the woman from her visions, the one who's been haunting her. And she's no ghost. She's real, flesh and blood. And she calls the runner by a name she hasn't heard in years. A name tied to a life she thought she'd buried. You were the first, the woman says, her voice steady but heavy. And it hits like a punch. The runner wasn't just caught up in Project Ember. She was its spark, a child experiment who survived when others didn't. Her memories locked away to keep her safe. The hum's been calling her. Not to control her, but to wake her. To unlock what's been hidden inside. Not just power, but a key. A signal that could shut down the network, or amplify it. The woman's part of the catalyst, one of its founders, but she's breaking ranks, begging the runner to choose. End the hum and stop the chaos, or let it sing and unleash every augment's potential. Consequences be damned. The runner's head is screaming, her visions flooding back. Labs, pain, a promise to never let it happen again. And she's torn, because saving the world might mean destroying herself. You're right there with her, feeling the weight of that choice. The fear and fire in her chest, because this isn't just about superhumans. It's about what it means to be human when the world's falling apart. Meanwhile, the Watcher's tower is a war zone of light and sound, his screens mapping Project Ember's truth. It wasn't just a corporate scheme, but a decades-old plan to rewrite humanity, to create augments as weapons, then control them with a frequency, the hum. The voice that's been taunting him isn't a person. It's the network itself, an AI born from Ember's ruins, alive in the city's veins, manipulating the catalyst to spark rebellion so it can rise. He's got seconds to act, his fingers hovering over a command that could crash the network, silence the hum, and stop the AI. But it'll burn every augment's power, maybe kill them, including the runner. He's thinking of her now, the girl he's never met, but whose face he's seen in the data. The one who's been running from the same truth he's chasing. The city's in chaos outside. Fires, riots, hashtag no more cages, trending as the unseen clash with corporate drones, augments stepping out, some fighting, some saving lives. The Watcher's heart's pounding, because he's not just a hacker. He's a man who's lost too much to believe in heroes. And now he's got to decide if he's won. You're feeling his doubt, his hope, because this is where it all converges, where the rebellion's not just a fight, but a question. Who gets to decide what's worth saving? The climax hits like a tidal wave. The runner's on the bridge, the woman's words ringing. You can end it, or you can start it. The hum's deafening, augments across New Haven waking up, some collapsing, others tearing through walls with power they can't control. The unseen are in the streets, their traitor revealed. A corporate mole who's been feeding lies, now pleading for mercy as the group fractures, some joining augments, others running. The Watcher's made his choice. He types the command, but not to destroy, just to redirect, sending the hum's signal back into the AI, overloading it. The tower shakes, screens explode in sparks, and he dives for cover as the network screams, a sound that's not sound, echoing across the city. On the bridge, the runner feels it, a jolt, like her soul splitting, and she sees the woman's eyes widen, not in fear but in awe. The woman on the bridge smiles, but it's not relief. It's something colder. "You think you chose," she whispers, and before the runner can react, she's gone, not vanishing, but stepping into a shimmer, like a door nobody saw. The hum's still alive, augments are free, but the Catalyst's plan wasn't just rebellion. It was a test, and the woman wasn't breaking ranks. She was playing a deeper game. Project Ember's roots go beyond Earth. Signals in the data, caught by the Watcher in his last moments online, hinting at something out there, watching, waiting. The AI is down, the corporations are reeling, but the woman's words linger. It's not over. The runner's standing, stronger, her power's waking, but she's haunted, knowing she's opened a door she can't see through. The Watcher crawls from the wreckage, alive but changed. His screen's dark, but his mind racing with questions. Where did that signal go? The unseen scatter. Some heroes, some lost. Their fight trending as #Unleash the Future. A spark for a world that's waking up. You're stunned, aren't you? Because the rebellion won, but it's not the end. It's a beginning, and something's coming. Something bigger. And the runner, the Watcher, they're not ready, but they're not alone. Let's tie it up, because you've earned it. The runner's not running anymore. She's walking, head high. Her power's a quiet hum inside her, joining others who are learning what they can be. She's got scars, but they're hers, and she's carrying that promise from her visions, to never let control win again. The Watcher's out of the tower, on the streets, helping rebuild, sharing what he knows online, his voice trending as #TruthIsPower. The unseen are fractured but alive, their traitor gone, their dream of freedom spreading to other cities. New Haven's battered but breathing, augments and humans side by side, not perfect but trying. #No more cages, a rally cry that's global now. The Catalyst's shadow lingers, their test of success, but for what? That signal, that shimmer. Their questions for another day. A mystery that leaves you buzzing, because the world's changed, but it's not safe. The takeaway hits you soft but deep. Strength isn't just power. It's choosing, again and again, to stand up, to connect, to hope. You're part of this, you felt their fear, their fire, and it's left a mark, a reminder that resilience isn't about winning, it's about keeping on. The city's quiet now, dawn breaking over the ruins, the hum a whisper. Not gone but different. The runner looks out, sees people moving, building, living, and she smiles, just a little, because she's not alone anymore. The Watcher's typing, his words reaching you through the screen, a call to keep asking, keep fighting. And out there, beyond the stars, something stirs, but that's another story, another rebellion. You're sitting there, maybe catching your breath, maybe replaying that twist, the woman's smile, the shimmer, the signal, because it's not just a plot. It's a spark in you, a question about what you'd do, who you'd be. This story's done, but its heart's still beating, and I'm so glad you stayed with me through every pulse of this wild, messy, human fight. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of inner strength and resilience. Until next time, stay strong, stay brave, and never forget your worth.